ಫ್ರೀ ಆಗಿ ಇಷ್ಟು ಹತ್ತು ಹಾಕ್ತಿದ್ರಪ್ಪ. Yes, please come one of you here. Good. Just close competition. Very ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, we'll manage.
Good morning, everyone. This panel discussion is an IUPAC initiative presented by the Moot Society, titled From Classroom to Courtroom, Exploring the Career Trajectories of Law Graduates. To begin with, I would like to call Ms. Aswatanisa to give the formal welcome and to introduce the panelists. A very good morning to one and all present here. On behalf of JSS Law College, on my own behalf, I wholeheartedly welcome all of you present here, including the Chief Executive in his absence here. I welcome our beloved principal. I also welcome the Mansa, and I also welcome Siddhant. A brief introduction. Alvinus was present here.
Oh, your guest now.
So, Mimamsa, during her time at JSS Law College, she took an active part in various societies, including Moot Debating Society research, and she was actively involved in various other activities. She was an NCC cadet and won multiple awards, including AIVSC 2016, and she also was awarded gold medal in her extempore speech. In her final year, she went on to become MCS convener and was also collaborated with a team from NLSIU Bengaluru in conducting research on urban development in Bengaluru. She played an active role in non-profit organizations, Red Cycle, wherein she carried extensive surveys on a community in Rajasthan. She received a Seed Grant Award in Youth Ki Awaaz Action Network Fellowship and led a project on hygiene management. She then went to pursue her LLM in TISS, where she actively involved in field work with Maharashtra State Commission for Women. She has actively involved in various other activities. Right now, she works as in Mahatma Gandhi National Fellow with Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India. I once again wholeheartedly welcome you, Mimamsa. Siddhant. He graduated from the batch of 2019 BPLLB and stepped into litigation immediately after. He practiced on civil and criminal sides and presently focusing on dealing in family law cases. He has worked with Mr. Mahadeva Deshak in Mysuru and with Mr. Uday Holla in Bengaluru. He is presently working at Govindaraj Associate and practices majorly in High Court of Karnataka. The uncertain and unpredictable nature of profession, be it in the judgment or in the remuneration, is what gives him a sort of adrenaline rush to stay put in the rock of bumpy side of litigations. Once again, I wholeheartedly welcome you, Siddhant. Thank you, one and all. Thank you, ma'am. Next, I welcome our Principal Dr. Nagraju to the Principal's address.
Good morning, everybody. JSS Law College, especially the Moot Club, in organizing this the interactions program, one-to-one interaction program, that's classroom to the courtroom. Friends, this program is organized with a view to get some kind of inputs from our two alumni, namely Mr. Siddhant Daria and Miss Mimamsa Singh. They're all the farmer students, the meritorious students, and they are all well versed in the Moot competitions. They took participation in various national level Moot competition, and also they won the prizes. So I am very happy to say that what you are going to study in the classroom, the theoretical component is only just to get some idea. But the reality is, see, if you want to be more perfect when you get into the actual field. So they are going to share their experiences. What is the difference? Only if you confine only to the classroom teaching, suppose you are go for hands-on experience or what we call it as an experience learning, then only you will be getting perfect in your professions. Anyhow, see this Mimamsa, she's now heading, I think she's worked in public policy, this is Ministry of the Skill Development. Now we have that's that too under a department that is public policy. Now that's for public policies. Now we have one a special seminar in association with our VLEAD GRAM. That is what is the importance of public policy. There is a separate program undertaken by the National School of India University. So we are going to conduct one special program on public policy shortly. Anyhow, participating in the Moot court. So it's a kind of what we call it as a kind of exposure to your the advocacies. So we have different departments, say the various committees. We are deputing to you to various activities, internship, etc. But involvement in Moot court, I think it gives a lot of the help, and you will be more perfect when you get into the national level Moot competitions and other activities. Anyhow, so our coordinator, Srimati Asmat Tunisa, she has taken proactive steps in organizing this program, and they are going to share their experience. So what is the difference between the classroom lectures and the reality in practice? So on behalf of our college and personally, I wish, and I once again, I extend a hearty welcome to both of you, and I wish you all the best and good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now let's begin with the session. I welcome Mr. Siddhant Daria, the first panelist address.
Thank you, Leah. Respected principal, teaching and non-teaching staff, Mimamsa, Manan in his absence, and my dear friends. A very good morning to one and all present here. It gives me immense pleasure to be a part of this panel and interact with students of this esteemed institution that I was once a part of. Mimamsa and I joined in the year 2019 as batchmates, and Mimamsa, Manan and I graduated as we joined in the year 2014 and graduated in the year 2019. Even though we've been called here to speak about our journeys from classrooms to courtrooms, as someone who's learning like a law student outside college in courts for about 4 years now, all I can tell you is just enjoy your college life as much as you can, while also learning what you have come here to learn, if not more. Be that as it may, courts outside are very different from Moot courts. Debating on burning topics happens in a way very different from what you all do in your depth of meetings. The United Nations functions in a manner different from what you all see in the months. These college activities are only for you to improve your communication skills, which is the most important part of a lawyer's life. Take part in everything that the college organizes. Participate even in competitions organized outside college, but don't expect the same situations outside college after graduating. You students are first taught lessons by teachers in college, and based on these lessons, you'll give your tests. But life outside academics goes the other way around. Life first gives you the test, based on which you learn a lesson. So, considering the importance our profession gives to people of experience, I am not someone who has established himself in the profession. I'm only here to share with you the mistakes I have made over these years and learned from them. For if your journey turns out to be similar to mine, you can at least dodge the barriers that I once stumbled upon. I graduated on the 22nd of June 2019 and started working in the chambers of Mr. Mahadev Desha from the 1st of July 2019. I started off with frequent court appearances. However, I noticed that when I was in court, I would get lost in my own thought process and I would miss out the cases being called. It so happened once that Mr. Mahadev Deshak had to argue a case, and I was asked to sit in the court and get the case kept by, which is the term used in courts, kept by Passover for your senior to come and argue the matter. I got lost in my own thoughts and I missed the case, and it got adjourned by a day or two. My then senior in Mysore is a very kind-hearted man, but he told me that, look, I am not going to argue this matter now, and it is your responsibility to argue the matter. I got very worried as I had been a lawyer only for a few days now, and I had not even argued before any court, let alone hearing any lawyer argue before the court. So I communicated my concerns to him, and he told me just one thing. Look, you put in your efforts, argue the matter, the end result is upon me, not upon you. If the outcome is favorable, well and good. If it's not favorable, I am answerable to the client and not you. You go, put in your efforts, argue. I somehow mustered the courage and argued the case. We were for the plaintiffs and the suit came to be decreed, and it gave me much more courage to argue more matters. Now, the mistake that I made here was not having confidence in myself. For if I did not have a senior who would have motivated me to argue, till today I would have just been a lawyer who goes to court to take adjournments. My fear was that I realized that courts are very different from moot courts, because there are real people involved. There are their properties that are at stake, and that is what probably gave me cold feet. If you ever happen to enter advocacy, please look for a senior who is going to motivate you and not just argue all matters by himself for the sake of clients. In Mysore, most of the times my colleagues and I shied away from drafting. We instead took dictations from our seniors. Despite our senior telling us to draft, we did not draft. And this is one of the biggest mistakes, because none of us take the subject drafting, pleading, and conveyancing seriously here. Drafting is a very integral part of advocacy, without which you can never open your own office. In my opinion, you can learn more about drafting by reading case files than listening to someone dictate at a high speed. And so please don't miss out on this opportunity during your internships and also during your chamber visits to read all case files and the documents there. Subsequently, COVID happened and practice became irregular. I somehow felt like a frog in the well when I was in Mysore, and I believed I could get more exposure, more opportunities in the High Court. And so I shifted to Bangalore in September 2021 and started working in the chambers of Mr. Udaya Honda, a renowned lawyer in the state of Karnataka. However, I started on the trial court side, as he said that the High Court side was full. My journey at Holla and Holla was very brief, merely 50 days. As much as advocates were given autonomy there to deal with the trial court cases in any manner they deemed fit, I wanted to appear before the High Court. But this was not possible considering I was in the trial court team. So what I learned from my brief journey there was, looking at the other people working in the High Court, joining the chambers of a senior advocate should be only if you want to learn something from their arguments. You are not going to get an opportunity, not going to easily get an opportunity to argue in the chambers of a senior advocate. Clients come there paying lakhs of rupees for the appearance of a senior advocate, so that the senior advocate appears. Your chances of appearing are very less. And hence, since I wanted to argue matters by myself, I did not think that the chambers of a senior advocate were meant for me. And after going to Bangalore, who does not get tempted by money? I got tempted by a good salary offer from a law firm and pounced upon it. And so I was to specialize in IPR cases, which was a subject taught to us by Asma ma'am. I made very few appearances in the High Court, and in the trial court, I appeared only before one court that specialized. I appeared only before one court that specialized with IPR cases. The team at my firm there, we were just 3 people. me and two others. So even though they were young in the profession, they were above me in hierarchy there. And so we had a lot of differences in opinions, and we had most senior actually come and sort out the differences between us. So this is when I realized the importance of a senior in guiding you and the pivotal role colleagues play in your professional life. Now, this particular job made me question my fitness as an advocate, and I believed that I should actually quit practice. And I communicated to my parents and my friends that I'd instead open a hotel that would be probably more lucrative for me. I'm glad I did not execute any of those plans. So the mistake here is, first, please look for a mentor in the initial years of your practice. Someone who genuinely wants you to learn and not someone who's just trying to show his knowledge before you. Also, if you've chosen advocacy, please do not run behind money. Money for a young advocate is a myth. You'll earn it when you earn a name. Don't be in a rush to earn money. I accepted this fact and walked just down the street of where I stay in Bangalore as I got to know of an office that was fairly good named Govindraj Associates. I entered there without an appointment. I was really upset as I wanted to quit law. I just asked for the senior, went sat before him and asked him for a job. So he did not even look at my CV, which I will come to later. This your CV holds no good if you want to be an advocate. He did not even look into my CV, and my senior, who is his father, just read my personal particulars in the CV and spoke to me about life in general, practice in Mysore. A few meets here and there, and both of them welcomed me in their office, which I now refer to as our office. I found best friends in my colleagues, and the team is fairly small with lots of work to do. I draft everything by myself, and my senior gives me suggestions. I am given several opportunities to argue good and substantial matters before the trial courts and the High Court. And it is now I see the exposure and opportunities that I expected in Bangalore, leaving the comfort of my own home in Mysore, and I now feel it is all worth it. It's not very rosy out there. There's not one person who has succeeded in the profession without putting in any efforts. Certainly, if you are a second or third generation lawyer, it is easier to get clients and attention, but not all judges are kind. Not all judges favor you. They do grill you in courts there. And so the path for a second and third generation lawyer is easy, is easier, not easy. We all make the mistake of deciding or planning our future only after colleges, while you already have the opportunity to do so when you are going for your internships. None of us take our internships seriously. But the thing we need to realize is we will know it only when we are in it. And that opportunity is given by internships. I never tried corporate internships because I was sure that I did not want to enter the corporate world. I did not want to sit on a desk, work for a fixed time, earn a limited amount of money, which will increase gradually, but it will stop. For lawyers, there is no end. In litigation, you are challenging yourself every month to learn more, to earn more. If you want to know your interests, focus equally on your extracurricular activities. Develop your communication skills. Your CV means nothing without your communication skills. You have to talk at every step in the profession, from communicating with clients, to arguing matters, to socializing in bar associations, to dealing with the back office staff of courts. There is communication everywhere. And without this, it's extremely hard to sail through this profession. Further, develop your research skills. Now, considering the pendency of cases, if there are high cases pending, the judgments are also certainly large in number. Track these judgments. Join Live Law's Telegram channel. Join Bar and Bench's WhatsApp group. At least read the brief articles and know that a particular principle exists. Know that the law has been interpreted in a particular way. Further, drafting skills. As I have mentioned, please don't rely on your seniors in future to give you dictations. Instead, read their files, give them a draft based on what they like. They'll make corrections, learn from it. If you don't like it, let it go. Draft your way once you have your own office. But as long as you're with someone, learn from them. Even after all this, there will be sporadic incidents where you will want to give up. Just get out of the profession. The profession is such. The remuneration in the profession is such. But you will feel that it's not meant for you. But my advice to you is don't give up. Because if I would have given up, I believe I would not have been happier than I am right now. There will always be a regret and a feeling of failure if you give up. Once you establish yourself, there's going to be no end to the learning, the fame, to the money. And I'm hoping for the same. And there are plenty of us sailing on the same boat, including Manan, my first practicing advocate. I'm waiting to hear him as much as you all. I would like to thank everyone in this program for giving me this opportunity to put forth my views regarding the profession via this platform. Thank you, Manan.
Thank you, Mr. Siddhant, for enlightening us about your litigation process so far. I think it was a true eye-opener for us. Now we have our third panelist with us. I welcome Mrs. Asmatuni Zaman to give the formal welcome of our third panelist.
Our third panelist is with us now. He is Mr. Manan Khan. I wholeheartedly welcome him to this program. Please come and join us on the slides. A brief note on him. He is M.Com LLB, worked in Karnataka High Court with Senior Counsel Shashikiran Shetty. He is now practicing in Mysore and High Court in civil and criminal, including taxation. He has filed public interest litigation in the interest of students in Karnataka High Court. He was also an active participant in various national and state level moot competitions during his stay in JSS Law College. He was also awarded as Best Speaker and Most Promising Advocate in National Moot Court Competition. I once again welcome you, Manan. Over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, I welcome Ms. Mansa Singh to the second panelist address. Thank you, Leah. Good morning. Good morning. A very good morning to one and all present here. Principal sir in his absence, Asmat ma'am, all the other non-teaching staff that's there, final year students who took the pain of organizing this event. Thank you a lot. First of all, it's a very surreal feeling to come here and talk to you all today because almost 4 years back, I was right on this podium conducting similar events, and now this is giving me a very bittersweet kind of a feeling. And thank you, batch of 23, for making this happen. We are here to talk about trajectories in law and what you possibly could learn from our mistakes, which if you don't, well, basically you'll be forced to repeat it. So I honestly don't know what to talk to you all about. Siddhant, my friend over here, has already taken the pain of preparing and talking to you about how practice is like and how what we learn is useful and many a times not very useful when we leave this gate of our college. I am here to talk to you about my experiences, which is very different from my friends sitting here because I did not choose the conventional profession or the conventional career path after graduating my BA and LLB in 2019. The one thing at that point of time that I knew was that what I did not want to do. So my first piece of advice for you guys would be that it is more important many a times to know what you don't want than knowing what you want, because what you want will constantly change. It's not going to be one thing in your whole life. What you want right now might not be what you want a week after or after you graduate law. It's going to constantly change. But what you don't want is pretty clear. So that was pretty clear for me that I did not want to sit for placements, that I did not want to go for a corporate job, which is also why I, during my internships, had not gone for any corporate internships either. So once you are clear with that, then you can go with the thumb rule of elimination and eliminate those career options out. Now you have to figure out the areas that you're not sure about and what you think you want right now. So at that point of time, in 2019, when my friends were all worrying about, what to do after this, every year from Feb onwards, we would start applying for internships. In our final year, suddenly I felt that vacuum because we did not have to apply for internships anymore, and I realized we have to apply for jobs now. So, okay. And while my friends were applying for jobs or were sitting for placement drives in college, I decided that since I'm not clear what I want to do, let's study a bit. I went for my master's, and I went for master's in access to justice from Tata Institute of Social Sciences, an LLM in access to justice. And so in interviews, if any of you are interested in pursuing higher studies in law also, this is a major question that is asked in interviews. They don't ask anything about what you studied in law. So it's no point, mugging up the sections and going over there is going to be a waste of time. They'll ask you live questions that why this law college or why this degree to study? Why do you want to study this particular degree? What is your purpose? And if you're not able to convince them, then Tata bye. So I kept getting asked as to why you want to study law further, why you want to do LLM. And my answer majorly was because I don't know what else to do. So I am hoping that this will tell me what I want to do after I finish my master's. The only thing that it did was confuse me even further. So after that, I was even more confused whether to go for practice or pursue further academia and go into teaching or take a different trajectory of career altogether. And so I was, I don't know how many of you joined in 2020 over here, but I graduated my master's in 2020 and it was a dark time for India and world as a whole. And it sort of was personally also a very difficult time because we were just not sure of how anything was going to go, forget career and profession. We were not sure of life. So at that point of time, I did get several opportunities, which varied from practice to social work to teaching. And believe me, I chose the one that paid the most at that point of time. Because I was like, because I'm still not sure what I want to do. Let's just go with the job that pays you the most. So while I'm figuring out, at least my bank balance will be strong. So for a lot of my friends over here, this might not be as important, but for a lot, I am sure that this would be important. Once you finish studying, the first aim that we always have is to be financially independent. And as lucrative and as ideal that term sounds, it is equally challenging and backbreaking. And because first of all, you're not used to handling money at all. And now you're getting salaries. Then you have to figure out how to file your tax returns. And it's a whole different ballgame. And they don't teach you how to file tax returns in income tax law. So these are some practical experiences that you will learn as you go itself. Now, my friend over here spoke about having the important mentors or important bosses at different stages of your career or while you're in college. Now, in college, of course, we all have our favorite teacher or our favorite professor. But when it goes on to in the real world, having the right mentor is far more important because it can either make you as a person, or break you as a person. You will, as Siddhant was mentioning, many a times in our internships itself, some of you might have faced it already that you don't get a lot of substantive work to do. It is, you're given clerical roles, and many a times that also shakes your confidence a bit because what is this what we were studying law to do? But it is also very important that in such places you find some mentor who will be able to guide you in the right way and help you find the best out of what you are being given. So I found such mentors at different stages of life, even though there were difficult people around. So while I was studying my master's, I had a huge challenge in presenting my dissertation, which led to a whole range of disputes and disagreements between professors and students alike. But what came out of it was that you would learn whom to trust, and more than anything, to trust yourself the most. And what you are studying, what you have picked up to work on is the most important. It does not matter what anybody else is telling you. It does not matter whoever that person is. Now, right now, I am working as a public policy fellow with Ministry of Skill Development. And when I came in this field, it was diametrically opposite of what you do in boardrooms. It's not at all fast. And the monotony of it is even more difficult, I would say, than running around, because there is so much uncertainties required related to your work. There's one day, it's basically like what do you say? It's basically like those pottery classes that people do for meditation, where you make a pot and break it at the end of it. Like, you don't know if it is going to be put to any use or not. And that part of working is very difficult. You're working on a certain project for day in and day out, and turns out that that project is not going to come anymore in the area that you're working, or for the group of people that you're working. Recently, there was an incident that the Minister of State Finance was visiting where I was, and we had to prepare a PPT to showcase all the centrally sponsored schemes that were working. And I sat on 3 days, worked day in and day out, prepared some 36 odd slides, and in the end, one slide ended up being presented. So it's also very important to not take yourself very seriously. Take your work seriously, but don't take yourself very seriously. Because the moment that arrogance comes is when you realize that nobody else is taking you seriously, and that can be like a rabbit hole that you find yourself going down. Now, in this place where despite doing all of this work, there's only few of it that makes it to the last point or gets acknowledged even for that fact. Now, if you find the right mentor who still gives you all that work, it does not matter. What is important is that you are putting in that hard work. So I found this district collector who took a lot of faith in me and my work, and gave me extremely important projects wherein I had to attend direct meetings with ministers and senior bureaucrats and convince them to release funding for several projects. So now this kind of work in the first or second year of your working is very difficult to find. But if you find somebody like that, kudos to you, very well done, good job. If you don't, please continue on the lookout for a person like that. Okay. Then, while you are at it right now, I believe that there are third years, fourth years, and final years in this crowd. While you are at it right now, there are only final years who have to worry about what they want and what they don't want, because a couple of months afterwards there will be also out of the college gate making their mark in the world. But those of you who are in third year and fourth year right now, all I have to say to you guys is make the most of this life. While you are in college, go out with your friends, have fun, attend classes, not, don't, how do I put it? Don't jeopardize your classes or your studies at the extent of having fun or anything like that. But also participate in as many things as you can. That will only give you a different perspective towards different things. And so it's this thing is equally important because it's something that you already know, you just see a different way of looking at things. And it can change how you perceive your education or life. Siddhant already spoke about the importance of communication and networking skills in the later stages of your career, and how CV is pretty much useless. That is true, because in order to make your CV useful, you have to talk. And if you don't know how to talk, how to network, how to convince people to see your CV, there's no point. It's just a blank piece of paper which can be very well used by the Puri person outside the college. So participate in as many co-curricular, extracurricular activities while you're in college. During my time in college, I was a part of the Moot Society, Debating Society, NCC, research organ, and I don't know how many other things. I was also in a lot of extracurriculars such as culturals and road track for quite some time as well. Now, why I'm telling you this, that while at the same college, I was trying to balance all these things on my plate, and it wasn't easy. I'm not going to say that it was easy. I'm not saying that do the same thing. Find one or two things that interest you. Don't do everything. But only books, only academia, without any other perspective, without a different outlook of looking at things can be dangerous if not redundant in the long run. Now, at that point of time, a lot of my friends were also sort of skeptical of me doing all of these things, and like, what are you getting out of it? Why are you breaking yourself so much? Why are you doing everything? But now that I look back at it, each of these activities that I undertook has shaped me in one way or the other. My training in NCC, for that fact, helps me a lot when I have to go for field visits and conduct extensive surveys in areas which are not, which are very challenging terrain-wise. So that is where my training in NCC comes at handy, which I would not have thought about at all while I was in NCC during college. Similarly, when it comes to what I learned from debating society or Moot club or research organ, was nothing but how to be able to communicate in a manner that reaches the other party in the best way possible. Siddhant's the only person over here who has been witness to my horrible speaking skills, and how I used to swallow my words and get a fever before coming to a stage in my first year. And it is Moot Society and debating club that helped me sail through my stage fear or my anxiety that came to talk to so many people. At the same time, it also pushed you to network with different people and going to different Moot court competitions nationally, going to represent JSS in debate competitions, in parliamentary debates, or in MUNs. You would meet a lot of people and network with them. And a lot of these networks has helped me in get internships, in applying for jobs, in helping me in getting accommodation when I'm visiting some random state. So it is, I mean, there are very few chances that some harm would come out of it, of networking with so many different people. And it also helped me get a lot of various, got me the opportunities to work on various research projects while I was in college. which was not something that you would get otherwise. And I got paid for working on those research projects while I was in college. So these were things that at one point of time might seem very extra or very pointless. But right now, I feel very happy that I did what I did, and I feel very proud of the choices that I made back in the day. Adding on to that, the research work that we did. So because of the research work that we did for Moot clubs or for debating, put us, few steps ahead of my classmates in class because I had already studied these topics. And when these topics were being taught in class, I had an added understanding of the concepts that were being taught, and I was like, okay, this is good. So these are things that you don't realize while you are doing it, but at a much later stage when you start looking at things in retrospect. At the same time, it is very important to focus on your writing skills and drafting skills too. Because as much as speaking is important when you are representing clients in room or I don't know, or you're teaching to a class if you are in academia, or if you are working with government professionals, if you are in the area of public policy, or whatever it might be. But writing is something that is equally important, and it is equally necessary to be able to portray your thoughts on paper and be able to a step ahead of at least your colleagues over there. And that will only come with practice, with reading a lot more, again, as Siddhant already mentioned earlier, and being added, trying different forms of writing, not only drafting, case files or agreements or contracts, but also writing research papers or just personal pieces. It doesn't matter. It does not have to be for the world to see. It can be very well be just for yourself. Because you'll realize that in the longer run, what you wrote at one point of time, is helping you speak at a later stage. That's okay. We were the same. We were the same. There's no difference. It might sound like a lot of gyan, which essentially it is too. But couple of months down the line, when you're going for your internships or when you're applying for jobs, is when, if you remember any of this, might make sense to you. During working at, so after I graduated from my master's, I tried a stint at academia, as Aswat ma'am already mentioned. I was doing teaching and conducting some research at Jindal Global Law University. But I found it extremely monotonous and ended up leaving the job because it was not fulfilling me. It was not giving me the fulfilling feeling at all, even though the pay was good. So at times you might feel like, okay, so the pay is good at least, but you would still end up, not being happy. And many a time it feels like my very friends from this college were like, but you're getting paid. And I'm like, yes, I am, but that's apparently that's not enough. So this is a constant learning process that will be different for each of you, and you'll have to try and make a lot of errors and understand it for yourself. But if a job is not giving you the satisfaction that it is supposed to, if you're not happy in your job, then you're not going to be good at it either. It is the best thing to find something that you genuinely enjoy doing. And again, as much as it sounds like, yeah, it is extremely important. because there's only, it can be only for a couple of months, maybe a year, maybe a couple of years that you can be fulfilling your desires through the money that you get or the privileges that you have as part of your job. But at the end of the day, if it is not fulfilling you mentally, it is just going to lead to a lot of problems that we don't even talk about. It is going to lead to a lot of self-doubt, leading to anxiety and the platter goes. So, because while working at Jindal, it was not fulfilling me and everything. So I decided to quit and find something more challenging, find something find something more stimulating for me to do. And I ended up taking up this fellowship with the Ministry of Skill Development and moving all the way to Arunachal Pradesh. Now I thought that what could be more challenging than that? And believe me that you would think that moving cities would solve your problems. It will not. Because the problems are with you. It's not the city you're residing in. And even though I moved to Arunachal, I started living amidst mountains and rivers and clean air and clean water. It still did not solve my problems. I still had the feeling that maybe this is not enough, maybe what I'm doing is not enough, I need to do more. And like I said, until and unless you take it up with yourself and you take it up with the work that you're doing, you stop taking yourself so seriously and focus a bit more on your work, that is what will bring about a lot of answers for you. And that is what it did for me. And the mountains and the rivers and the trees started making sense. Because in the initial few months, it was very difficult. And I even went to the extent of cursing myself at one point that there you have your adventure, are you satisfied now? But believe me that as difficult life would seem like at one point of time, later on, you will be on a stage like this, making jokes about it and laughing about it with 50 other strangers. That is what career trajectories are about. And it is just something that, it is just something that you'll have to figure out and you'll have to constantly experiment with. Now, those of you who are interested in practice can very well take up all the golden words of advices that Siddhant had to give and that Manan will give now. But if you are at all like me and if you are still not sure, even after 4 years of completing your law, that what are you going to do, what you are doing, then the only way of leading it is going to be constant experiments and with yourself, with your work and with the world around you. Thank you, Ms. Mimamsa. I'm sure what you've spoken today have encouraged everyone to expand the things more outside the conventional path of graduation. Now I welcome Mr. Manan Khan for the third panelist address.
Good morning, Manan. Respected dignitaries on the stage, and all the respected faculties on the stage, and my dear friends. Yes, it's not going to be formal, and also feels like a moot court competition, a 15-minute time frame, and without the rebuttal, I hope without the rebuttals. So, this classroom to courtroom trajectory. So my friends have told you about talking, making friends, writing, everything makes sense. It is absolutely true, and you have to be that, and you have to follow that, without which you cannot be considered as a lawyer itself or a human being per se. So, I remember when I joined this JSS Law College, and it was my first orientational program. Our CEO, beloved CEO Suresh sir, had told one thing to our parents. That is, don't police your parents. Don't police your child. but we make them accountable. I hope you all remember this. Some point of time, I told you that be accountable. Now, being in a final year or graduating at a point of this, it is time for you to be accountable about yourself. And no one is going to be accountable for yourself. No one is going to ask how are you going to do it, how well you are going to do it, what are you choosing. Everyone will support you, maybe honestly or just for the sake. And you have to be accountable for yourself. And coming to the profession of advocacy, it is a mixture. You can be anything. You can be an introvert, you can be an extrovert, you can be an ambivert. You can have a skills of talking, or you can have a skills of drafting. You can have a skills of just speaking, just like I'm doing here. But what is important is to observe the things. First, you observe the things, then you analyze it, then you act upon it. So, meaning to say that in advocacy, it is not important for every advocate to be very excellent in talking. You cannot, everyone cannot. You have to try. Even I have to try. Even I have to learn. There was a time, even as much Mimasa was telling, there was a time that we couldn't speak. We couldn't address the gathering. Our legs would go numb and we couldn't talk. We would stammer. Now we're in a position where we could talk to you freely and without preparing. I just prepared my notes here. So you have to try. It's all about trying. It's all about failures. You have to learn from your failures. You have to try. So first things first, with the personal experience I go, the power of dressing. I'll start with the power of dressing. I just love the fact that JSS Law College has a strict dress code rules and how CEO Suresh checks our uniform. Because I see the people in the courtroom having wrinkled collars, wrinkled bands, and wrinkled coming in the slippers in the court, which is not dignified for the court. And I just love the fact that people of JSS Law College come in a very dignified, very proper dressing in the courtrooms. And it makes a very good impression before the judges, before the other counsels, and before all the people, even the clients. And then sometimes what happens is, I think, I don't know if it's with me or the JSS or what, I often being asked at the times in Mysore courts that if I'm practicing in Bangalore. So I'm sure that other JSS people also have the similar kind of experiences. So smile and dress well. I'm not talking about anything fancy here. I'm just talking appropriately with the iron clothes, being presentable before any person you go. That is the most important power. Be it anywhere, be it in the courts, be it in the departments, be it in the police station. Even if you go in a colored shirt into the police station, they wouldn't recognize you. Once you go with a white shirt, they think before you talk. They talk. And next, I'll go to the next part is try everything. And by everything, I do not mean what you mean. Yes, but try every department, every kind of practice, every courtroom, everything. Because, see, we are being told, don't go to police stations, don't go to departments, don't go to this thing. You're a lawyer, you're not supposed to go there, you're not supposed to go there. I am a lawyer, I have to earn my bread, I have to go everywhere. It's all right for my earlier careers to go to the police station, to make people fight, to fight for the justice. At the end of it, we are the officers of the court and we have to fight for the justice. Try every department. If it's revenue department, try it. If it's police stations, try it. If it's corporation, go explore it. If it's any kind of matter, if it's a tax matter, refer it to me. Yes. And so try new things, this thing. And it is very important for that. And coming on to I'll tell you one of the most dreadful years of my life after graduating from this college. As much as my friends are toppers here, these are the top 10 people in the class. I was just an average student. I just had average grades, this thing, but I was good at moot court because I enjoyed moot court. I just enjoyed fighting there. So, but then in a final year results came up and I failed in international law. Can you imagine that? International law, who would think? But then unfortunately some other people also had failed, so to my happiness. So I was at home. I joined the senior's office, one of the seniors' office, a reputed senior's office in myself. I used to take dictations from him. That happened. That went on for quite some time. Then COVID happened. Quite unfortunate things happened, and continuously we didn't go to the office. The ports were closed, everything. But my sister was writing her KCET exam during the COVID. She came and told me that the KCET exams are going on. And I was very much taken aback and I was very shocked first. So I decided to file a PIL before the Karnataka High Court, not for my sister, but for the students of all. And filed a PIL challenging that exam should be postponed. And I have filed it. And turns out before the day of, 1 day before the posting of the case, NSIU and also other students from Karnataka has also filed. So I went before it and the matter was put before the Chief Justice of Karnataka at that time. And one of the guy from the Senior Counsel Ponana's sir's office came and we admitted the matter and the notices were sent to the Karnataka High Court. Karnataka government. And note that it was my first case and I have not enrolled and I have just received my result saying that I have passed my international exam. I was not enrolled. And to my luck, the next argument was before Justice Arvind Kumar, who I fortunately interned under when I was in my second year. But that didn't work in the favor. But I had a good opportunity of arguing before him and telling him this thing. But the good thing was the Karnataka government actually gave orders saying that there should be certain precautions to be taken during this examination. It was a part successful and it was a part failure. And second happened with the Comet case. And this is very important thing. Comet case also happened, it came before the Justice Nagaratna. And opposite was a senior counsel Shashikaran Shetty. He bashed me in the court, in the virtual. Then he sent me one of the letters from his office saying that this is the order sheet. And I was looking for a job desperately, per se. And someone referred me some big advocate's office. And when I went there, turns out my Kannada is not so well. And it is important to have a hold on the language. Kannada is very important. And if you're practicing in Karnataka, make sure of that. And he rejected me. Then I walked in. I was just having my CV. I didn't take an appointment with Shashikaran Shetty sir. I just walked in there and he was standing there with talking to some clients. I spoke to the receptionist saying that I'm Manan Khan. And he recognized me from that case and he asked me to, he asked his receptionist to meet me. I met him. He saw my CV. He just told, come on Saturday morning. I went on Saturday morning. He saw my CV. Oh, it's all good. Do one thing. You joined from the 1st of December. And he started working there. And it was very fruitful. It was a very experiencing movement from there, from being an opposite counsel to working for him. And also very important for you people. I think you see the videos of Tisari court and all these Rohini courts fighting, people fighting. That doesn't happen in Karnataka, but then it is very important for you not to take anything personal. You're just getting paid for things. Don't have to take it personal. Okay, if they are not paying you, then take it personal. Yes, that was one of the experience that gave a trajectory for my career. This thing, and also about everyone wants to join a big office, right? It's good to join a big office. It's excellent to join a big office, but also always remember you're starting new. Those you need people who support you, who make you learn, who teach you, and who be friendly with you, and not being very toxic in the work culture. Toxicity, just if you feel that this place is toxic, no matter how much they pay, get out of it, or you become toxic with them, either of it. But then you have to learn from, even if it's a small office, even if it has 15 cases, if it has 10 cases, 100 cases, doesn't matter. Learn small, invest yourself in particular case, take one case at a time, invest yourself, learn the procedures. It doesn't matter if you're like running behind 100 cases at a day, just taking adjournments, you don't learn anything. You might get the eagle's eye view, but as much as you learn in a particular case, going into depth of it, you don't learn anything. And the best thing is, if you're getting paid for it, you'll learn better. Yeah. So it's all right to fail. It's all right to reject the toxic work culture. It's all right to choose the career. If you don't like litigation, it is all right. But I prefer litigation. It's all right to choose your course of this thing. It's all right to take a break. We get a mental breakdown. Even Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, sir, he has many times told that we are suffering from the mental health issues. And it's quite common when you work from morning, any senior counsel in Bangalore, they work from morning 7 o'clock to night 11 o'clock, morning 7 to 11. Can you just imagine? It is hard for us, even if indeed they earn around 10 to 12, 15 lakh rupees per day. That's a different story. But given that amount, working for a 7 to 11, that's a big thing. But it's all right to take a break. I did. People do. And it's all right to reject the toxic work cultures. It's all right to work in the departments. Be free, analyze things, enjoy the profession, and make friends, not only from outside the court, but also if you're especially a first-gen advocate, make friends with the bench clerks, make friends with the court amines, make friends with the internal department, talk to them, smile at them, ask them for a tea or coffee, not any other thing. Yes. Just make sure you understand the departments, make sure you talk to the PCs. Don't worry, nothing will happen. The fear is what is making you stop. Fear, just remove that, be daring. I'll tell you one small experience I had about the fear. I had prepared for one of my first national moot court competition in Bishop Women's Law College, and I argued there, and I was there till quarterfinals, and I was very disappointed for the first time. I was sitting, I was like casual. I was talking to one of my friends who are the and like I want to drink coffee, and there was one of the cups. It was very casual actually. It was I was being a bit it would be unparliamentary to say. Yeah, but then I told them something out of the rudeness, and it was unmindful. But what happened suddenly? Justice N. Kumar came there, and they started announcing the names. They announced my name, the best student council male, Manan Khan. You wouldn't believe my legs freeze there. I couldn't stand up. I couldn't walk to the stage. I couldn't climb the stage. I was stuck. And anyhow, I managed to. I dragged myself. I got the cup. I came back. Then I don't. Then what happened? Second time, I was again. They were announcing other this thing. I was really excited about this. Then again, they called me up. The most promising advocate, Mr. Manan Khan. And again, first of all, it was seized. No oils would work at that time. But then, yeah, again, I had to walk there. I was prepared for the moot court competition. I argued mindlessly, but then preparedly. But I was not prepared for this. You get these experiences, you feel these things. It is all right, actually. You don't have to say that I didn't do well. I didn't do this. I didn't go prepared. It's all right. We didn't, even Mimansa didn't come here prepared. I and Siddhant were talking about classroom to courtroom. She was talking about classroom to Kashi with the mountains and all. Yeah, and she loves it. See, it's all right. It's all right to enjoy the Uttarakhand also if you want. If your father is a CM, right? No, she's earning her own money. She's earning her own. Yeah. Yeah, we had a lovely banters at our time. We three had a love and hate relationship. We respect each other a lot, but then also we tease each other a lot. Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Manan. I think you've kept your talk light and airy, and we have realized that other than the common requirements of the graduates, there are other additional requirements that makes us unique. Now we'll move to the interactive session. So if anyone has any questions, you can ask the same and our panelists will answer. Feel free to ask questions because they are alumni and they've been there.
If you're unhappy in a place, quit altogether. No, are you able to hear me? Ask me. If you're unhappy, quit altogether. The only thing is now in the profession of litigation, you need to be mentally sound first. If I am having mental issues, I cannot present my client's case before the court. I have been in a very bad situation in my previous office. I quit immediately. A few of my friends from college are aware what I was going through. I did not know what I want to do. As I said, I just walked down the street. I happened to know there's a law office there. I went and asked. I was very clear that I wanted litigation. The first few years of a law student is only experimenting. See what you want to do. Try different offices. Then you see what you like and proceed. You can take about 6-7 years. You cannot help it. I'm not going to earn for another 4-5 years. That's how it is in the profession. There's no big deal. It's just that the society has seen that success is how fast you earn, how well you earn. And so you can easily experiment. You quit, you can move from litigation to corporate to litigation. There's no harm at all. There's no harm in quitting. There's no harm in giving up a particular profession and moving on. Don't give up and just sit at home.
Morning, sir. My question is to Otakan, sir. As you said, you are an like 20 years ago, I was a student.
Yes, sir. Please sit down, sir. I'll tell you about our average. It is, see, it doesn't matter if you're a front bencher, it doesn't matter if you're a back bencher, it doesn't matter if you're a mid bencher, it doesn't matter in the courts. No judges will ask you, give me your mark sheet, I'll give you a favorable order. No judges will ask you. It is, see, being an average student is no problem, but being an average advocate is the problem. You have to try every day to excel. You have to try push your limits. Maybe you're not pushing to the limits as much as the standards are, but try growing yourself from the yesterday. And it is all right. It happens. Sometimes you get mind numb. Sometimes you can't speak. It is first have command over your language. Second, understand the facts of the case. Third, be charming. Charm the judges. I'm not this thing. Yeah, only the judges. It's all right if you do otherwise also. And have a good connection, good bonding with the people. Enjoy it. Enjoy the profession. It's not, see, average, accepting average is the worst thing. Average is good, but you have to grow. You have to push your limits. No matter what, be humble at the end. Thank you.
Just like you.
Yeah.
I just have one friend to ask. Yeah. How we use it? Okay.
For me or him? Anyone. I think internship, Vimansa is the expert. Yeah.
Okay. So your question was like how to navigate through internships and how to pick and choose internships, right? As per my experience, all of your internships should be a follow-up to your last one. So it should not be repetitive. Please do not select the same kind of office to work at. If you have taken one internship, for example, in a corporate firm, do not take another internship in a corporate firm the next time also. There's nothing new that you will learn. What you have to learn from an internship, you have already learned, right? So make sure that your internships are as diverse as possible and as as a further learning experience from your last internship. And there's another question that you asked, which was whether or not to jump to law firms in the second years or something like that. Right? What I did was I chose I chose litigation firms or places which were sort of interdisciplinary in nature, where there was social legal aspects that some places were looking at. So over there, you can, because in college, at least the time when we were studying, we had a rule that in 5-year law, till the time you're in final year, you cannot intern in high courts and things like that. And I actually broke that rule and I went to the High Court in after my 3rd-year internship because I wanted to intern in Supreme Court as my last internship to be, and it only made sense in my head to be a follow-up that I could not jump directly to the Supreme Court internship without having done a High Court internship, right? And I mean, I got reviewed by a few teachers once in a while, but then to be honest, that does not really matter right now to me. What matters is that I interned under a Supreme Court judge, under a High Court advocate. So it's fine to find some loopholes in the rules, because that is one of the major things that we are taught as law students is lawyers also. So it's fine to pick and choose internships well before in your legal studies also, till the time you are ready for it. And if you think that you have the appropriate knowledge to go for that internship and give your full to that internship and learn the most from that internship. I hope I answered your question. People have it, I say, especially in the math side, we are very happy to see your home. Just give me to see. And so, we are almost into the growing on. There is a lot of people who actually what we want, but it is not. Right. So you said that a few contradictory things in your question. First was that we don't know what to do. Then there was, even though we know what to do, we don't know how to do it. Right. So first of all, if you don't know, then that is one dead end, first dead end, or the first hurdle, I would say, not a dead end, first hurdle that you see. So like I said earlier, also figure out what you don't want to do, so that those things are out of the window at first, right? Now still there are like hundreds of things that you can do, but you're not sure whether or not to go about it. Find what interests you the most. Find what is the job that you will enjoy doing, that you would want to do, and something that does not feel like a task, but you have fun doing it. So it can be practice for someone, it can be teaching for someone, it can be various things, right? I mean, different niches of law people enjoy. I mean, for example, I really enjoyed constitutional law, but despised taxation. So I knew for a fact that I'm not going to do anything with taxation for sure, even though my father is a chartered accountant, as Manan already broadcasted. So I knew that that is something that is completely out of the window and I'm not going to go for it, right? So find the niche of law that interests you. Try to see if there is something, if there is further certification in those niches that can help you. If there is, workshops related to that, if there are happening any, right now there are a lot of free online workshops and certification courses which are available by prestigious, law colleges itself. You don't even have to look at Law Seco and all of that. You can look at NLSIU's certification. IIMs are doing a lot of, interdisciplinary courses in various niches of law and otherwise. So find those areas, and maybe something over there would help you, will bring you to your eureka moment of, oh, okay, the bulb will go off in your head or something like that. One thing that I find very useful is making a pros and cons list. If I do this, what are the pros, what are the cons? If I don't do this, what are the pros, what are the cons? And like doing that and evaluating it. I mean, it is maybe the nerd in me or whatever, but I find it very useful for myself. And that by the end of it, you figure out what you have wanted all the while, right? So these are some of my tricks. You can maybe try adapting or find your own ways to come around, these insecurities or like uncertainties in your head. But it will be fine. I mean, right now it feels like that, oh my God, I don't know, it's a dead end and everything, but things start falling in place eventually.
Not able to hear you. Come behind.
That is my question.
They have internal opportunities, internships, and they will study more law subjects. But we don't, we can have no idea, we agent for the people. So, is there any additional tips for,
Yeah, I am a friend. I am from previous LLB. So these people are from 5 years LLB. They were in. Yeah, this is not discrimination. This is discrimination. These people create. Yeah. Yeah, but then it is 5 years people are more established here, no doubt about it. But 3 years people have this certain. I'm not talking about anything negative, but they have this certain kind of laid back attitude. I now have a degree. I don't have to do anything. That is the worst thing that 3 years people can imagine. I never thought of it. I always wanted to take part in things and do things. So take them as a competition, no matter how many moods they have done, no matter how many interviews or how many internships they have done, take them as a competition. You already have a degree, work on it, work on your skills, and pursue yourself. Don't think that you have less opportunities than them. You have equal opportunities than them. Maybe you have 2 years lesser, but make sure you understand better. Make sure you give them, you grasp well, and be in the competition, be in the hustle as they are. They are already in the hustle, but it is for you to make yourself planted and start the hustle. Rather than not think that 3 years, okay, fine, I already have a degree, I don't care if I don't finish this course. Don't ever think that if you want to be. Thank you.
Hi, Anupam. Thank you. Yeah, I was thinking that myself when I was pursuing my LLM, but after finishing it, I realized that yes, it does. So it also depends again what your interest area lies in, which area you want to specialize into, and which area you find interesting to study any further after already, going through 5 years of law. So first of all, it takes a lot of commitment to further go on and study already after 5 years of studying. So my parents were honestly like, you want to study more after 5 years. So that was one. But then I was interested in pursuing something around human rights and something around social legal lawyering. So which is why I had applied also to similar, institutes such as TIS, APU, Jamia, etc. Now, after pursuing my LLM or during the last semester of my LLM is when I realized the added value or added advantage that I get after doing the LLM. I feel that is again my personal thinking. Somebody can come and tell me I'm wrong. It's okay. But I feel that I have a more nuanced understanding of research subjects, especially because even though we are taught research in our final year, over here, 1 semester is not enough. And the way we do research here is also not really ideal. We don't deal with primary data. We don't do sampling. We don't do data analysis and everything. So these are things that I learned after or during my LLM, and which right now I am using also in my work a lot. And at the same time, when I apply for a lot of more roles or opportunities later on, I do see that many a times master's is asked for, a postgraduate degree is asked for, and also this is a trend which is sort of disturbing. I also find that at times postgraduates are paid more. So other than the value I feel it has added to me, my employers also feel that there is some value to it. I don't know what it is, but yeah. Thank you. Thank you, panelists, for answering all the questions. I'm sure it has benefited everyone very well. Now I welcome Mr. Ashri to tell you more. Thanks.
We have reached the fag end of this special talk. I would like to thank the first speaker, Siddhantas Darunya, advocate, for his insights on the topic. Then I would like to thank Ms. Mimamsa Singh, Mahatma Gandhi National Fellow, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India. And lastly, my friend Manan Khan, for his insights on the courtroom and the practice and from classroom to the courtroom. So a paradigm shift where all the differences will come. So I would like to thank these three panelists for gracing this occasion and sharing their insights. I would like to thank the coordinator of this Moot Court Society, Asma ma'am, for her initiating this special talk. And I would like to thank our principal, Dr. S. Nataraju, for his constant support. And last but not the least, I would like to thank Professor K.S. Suresh sir for his constant and a backbone for these events and giving us more enthusiasm. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. So that's the end of our session. We've arranged refreshments outside, and please give the names to me so that I'll give it to the visitors and you'll get attendance. And you'll have classes after the break. Attendance will be provided only for this hour. Thank you.
What